Minecraft Java's development versions are called snapshots, while on Bedrock they're called betas and previews. These are opportunities to look at new features, and a brand new one did just drop with quite a few significant new features and also a few changes to crafting recipes, including the boat, which is now crafted without a shovel. But here's the surprising thing about this beta and preview: it's not actually for the 1.20 update, which is launching very shortly now. It's for the update after 1.20, 1.20.10. Why are Minecraft working on the update after the one that's already released, and why have they made so many significant Java parity changes, some of which are really positive, like the boat, and some of which have a bit more of a mixed reception? Well, let's explain all of that in today's video, because the biggest feature, the one that they're really working on the most, because short sneaking was really great for Minecraft, and so they want to work on another Java exclusive movement mechanic, and that is going to be crawling. So right now, what happens when you go into a 1x wide space is you kind of just start swimming in the air, or you'll end up in the middle of a block sometimes. This is something that will change after 1.20.10, however, because now when you enable the short sneaking toggle, and it copies your world to do so, you'll find that it doesn't just include short sneaking, but it also includes crawling. Crawling is a brand new part of 1.20.10, and it replaces a mechanic which already basically exists on Bedrock, but very glitchily, with one that is actually going to be supported. Crawling is going to be a real thing that you can do. It effectively is swimming with no water, but it's actually going to have its own animation and its own set of rules to allow you to actually crawl into things, and I think that's really great. I love that you actually look like you're, you're meant to be in this 1x1 block, and this is a really cool new mechanic they're adding from Java. The other mechanics they're adding from Java are crafting recipes with a lot more controversy, so let's instead move to the other weird features in 1.20.10, because I would say these are significant changes by themselves. Because although I'm not the biggest skulk sensor person, it is really cool the new things that will now generate noises for one of these devices. So there is a whole list of them, but to go through the ones that you're most likely to be able to do, as you can see, while I'm standing, nothing happens, but if I shovel the ground, now that will activate the skulk sensor. If I hoe the ground, that will activate a skulk sensor. If I put seeds in that hoed ground, you guessed it, that will activate a skulk sensor, and when I break said seeds, that is also something that will change. Now, if I stomp out this farmland, which I'm going to do right now, something else that will change it is turning it into mud. This is officially changing the grass, and so it's making a noise as far as the skulk sensor is concerned. Putting something on a campfire, as you can see, is going to do exactly the same thing. Also, one of the weird ones to me is scraping cut copper. That is something that will officially charge a skulk sensor. Then we've got putting an IF ender in an end portal frame. This to me seems like it's only useful for like setting up a trap that only activates when someone goes near their end portal, but the fact is you will be able to do it. You'll also be able to put a salmon in an item frame, and that will activate skulk sensors alongside rotating it. This is a weird one to me. I can't decide if this actually makes sense. Should rotating a salmon in an item frame have a vibration attached? I mean, something's moving, but is it really, skulk sensor worthy? Well, Minecraft have decided, yes it is. They've also decided that when you put seeds in a composter, this will do the exact same thing, as I'll show you, time after time, well, we didn't wait long enough there, after time again. When you put seeds in there, or when you take bone meal out, that will count as doing something. And this next one's the weirdest one, because here's a monster spawner, right? This isn't how Crucible's meant to look. There's no monster spawners or skulk sensors. I just like using it as background gameplay, although, really, isn't this place where dreams are made of? Nope, that was yesterday's video. We've done talking about mini games. Let's talk about the fact that when you put an iron golem or any other mob inside of a spawner, that will also activate, well, I mean, iron golems, but also the skulk sensor. That's such a weird one because there's no legit survival way to do that, but clearly they're thinking about, creative players having some fun, and I kind of like that. There are lots of new ways. Here are the rest of them. They'll be on screen right now, that you can activate a skulk sensor, and so they're trying to add more uses to it because they clearly are very committed to making sure old features get the updates they deserve. The amethyst inside of 1.20 is already doing that, and now 1.20.10 will give it even more options. Also, running along this in Crucible, desperately hoping what you needed was in a chest, it's just bringing back too many memories. But I'll tell you what doesn't bring back memories. It's that farmers are now going to interact with every type of seed. You might not know this, but now there are 5 distinct things called seeds. In fact, pitcher pods are also going to count in this category, and if you do have one of these brand new fancy seeds, right now farmers aren't that big on them, but this is something that will change. So if we just go right through here and we make a big bunch of farmland, hopefully in the right place, and then on top of that we'll place a bunch of torch flower seeds. So torch flower, crop. Just like, well, I did that entirely wrong, clearly. If we place some farmland and then we place some torch flower crops on top of them, now what will happen is you can watch some torch flowers grow. This actually seems like a fun project, just to see a whole field of them there. But also what we can do is we can give our guy a bunch of torch flower seeds. But now what they'll do is they won't just stare at your torch flower seeds like you've given them a terrible Christmas present and they're not even going to pretend that they care about it. But instead they can take these torch flower seeds and actually grow them in the ground. We'll see how well this guy actually does with it. You know, that's what it said on the changelog. He's meant to be able to interact with torch flower seeds and pitcher pods, but he clearly just chooses not to. Like me with your Christmas present. You did a very bad job, and it sucks, let me tell you. But let's now dive into the controversial part of this update. Because, you know, looking at torch flowers slowly grow, this is something I can enjoy. Looking at torch flowers grow with extra speed, now that's something I can really get behind. It's weird, they're all going to the yellow phase first, and then, you know, I guess that's all good, huh? I guess this is as far as we need to go on the... Oh, there we go, now they're starting to bloom. Yeah, torch flowers, aren't they beautiful? Yes, they are. Speaking of things that are beautiful, we need to talk about controversy, because I think that Minecraft is trying to balance the Java and Bedrock versions in a really tricky way, and something like the boat is a great example of that, because right now on Bedrock, the boat is crafted like this. This is how the boat will be crafted in 1.20, whereas in 1.20.10, it will be crafted the same way it is on Java, which is like this. And this is something which is really bad for immersion reasons, right? I mean, the boat clearly has an ore in there somewhere. You know, let me show you the boat actually, just in case you doubt me, in case you think to yourself, no Toy Cat, there's no ore in the boat. I've got some bad news for you. If you assumed that, then you've been playing Minecraft in 2013 and not since then, because boats do have ores, and those ores kind of look like shovels. So logically, I guess you would say that this is one shovel split in two. Although, is it one shovel split in two? Let me show you the wooden shovel that's used in the recipe, and then try and compare the two of these things together. Not only do they not look the same, but you can clearly see the ore one, you know, the one used for the oaring for the boat is actually bigger than the one in my hand. It looks like each of these is about 3, maybe 4 separate wooden shovels tied together. So really, the boat recipe should be 5 wood and, I don't know, 8 shovels or something. But clearly, that is not a good, you know, gameplay reason. And so they've changed something, and let me show you what it looks like now. Oh dear God, why can I craft a boat? There should be a shovel in there. Ah, my immersion is ruined. This game was so realistic before, but now it makes no sense. Obviously, that's ridiculous. No one is believing that except me. Of course it's dumb. Why do we have a boat made out of just 5 planks? Why is it 5 planks in particular? I feel like if you place 5 planks down, you get a space much bigger than a boat. Where do the planks all go? There's a lot of illogical things with the crafting recipes in Minecraft, and although I think realism is something they should consider, and some people do feel like that's more important, I think the reality is having a satisfying crafting recipe is a lot better for people. I've mentioned this before, but I really enjoyed when I first found out how you crafted ladders. This isn't how you would make a ladder in the real world. I mean, look how many rungs the ladder has compared to the recipe, but it's just trying to loosely approximate something so you feel like you're doing it. And although having a shovel in the boat makes some sense, the truth is some of this wood is going to make a shovel because you can use, just using these same oak planks, you could then immediately craft some of this, and then you could craft yourself a shovel, and then you still would have free wood left over to make the boat. So you could have a shovel and a boat, and that is actually just as realistic a crafting recipe for a boat. So yeah, I do think there is a big, you know, huge argument about which way should be best, but I think the one which is easier to understand, easier for new players, and most importantly, less of a pain, because when you want a boat, if you have wood in your inventory, you craft planks, and now you craft the boat. You don't craft planks, then you craft sticks, then you craft a shovel, then you craft the boat. It's just easier and better, and as someone who plays a lot of new worlds mixed in between my, you know, 11 years survival, I really enjoy when the easy game is just made that a little bit better. So other things that have changed in this update is one, here's a really fun one, right? So one of the bugs that I specifically named in a recent Q&A as being one of the reasons they couldn't release 1.20 is that the cauldrons had a lava texture instead of a water texture. Here's what it used to look like. It's very bizarre. That's been fixed in 1.20.10. So, you know, for a while you can do some weird weird lava cauldron art. I feel like I should take advantage of that. Speaking of taking advantage of things, you can also take advantage of pots. In 1.20, they look like this when they're decorated. Now they'll tell you exactly what pottery shards you have on them. These two pots will look very similar, but this one has a single sheaf on there, mixed in between the shelter. And then finally, we've got the weirdest one of all of them, because I understand the changes to the boat recipe. I even understand the change to the barrel recipe. I mean, it uses slabs now instead of planks, and, you know, personally, I kind of like the sticks. I felt like planks instead of sticks. I felt like the sticks were an easier way to craft it, but Minecraft have decided the Java recipe prevails, and I can just about get down with the barrel. I like the boat, I'm just about okay with the barrel, but here's the dumbest one. Every time Minecraft is nailing parity, we just got short sneaking for the first time, which means I can use some of these slabs and I can sneak under them. Look at this. I can get in this gap right here. Well, apparently only from walking height. I can go under this gap right here. Isn't that wonderful? And so every time Minecraft nails something to a parity, we're getting crawling, we're getting better boat recipes, we're getting changed barrel recipes. They're like, what if we screwed something up too? And then they decided, yeah, what if we made cobwebs no longer craftable into string? This is in 1.20.10. Let me show you how it works. In every Minecraft version before that, you put the cobweb in there and you get string out of it. I think that the cobweb to string and string to cobweb recipes are actually really good ones, actually, because cobweb is a really interesting item, and you know, it shouldn't just be obtained for the. I think you get more interest out being able to use it in two ways than deliberately removing one of the ways. Cobweb is clearly made from a lot of strings, and if you carefully destroy it, you should get some of those strings back. I don't know why we have to be this way. It feels as though we just can't get features on Minecraft Bedrock that are parity to Java without some form of strings being attached. Although, in this case, clearly not, right? So with that said, there is one last thing to dive into, and that is, why are Minecraft you know, like, why are they making a new update before they've even released 1.20? Right now, the Java edition of the game is going through its last pre-releases, and, you know, they've announced a release date and everything. So how is it that we're about to get 1.20 releasing, and Java team is working desperately to fix it up, while the Bedrock team is working on a brand new update altogether? And the simple answer is certification. Everything that releases on a console and certain, mobile phone stores requires the actual platform itself to confirm that it works correctly and isn't going to ruin people's devices, and so this process takes a couple of weeks. So if the update is releasing in a couple of weeks, they can't actually add anything to 1.20 because the update has long been finished. Java has a huge advantage over Bedrock, and they get that last 2 weeks to do these last-minute bug fixes and changes, but what this basically means for Bedrock players is the updates are always being worked on with a roughly 1 month buffer, because they want to release snapshots, betas and previews a little bit before they're ready to be done. They want to be able to have them ready before they release them to make sure they're ready to even go for preview. It's very confusing, but long story short, these are features that Minecraft have worked on while they can't work on 1.20, which is much better than them just sitting around and twiddling their thumbs. I know people like to pretend that's all Minecraft developers are doing, but it is a lot of work to even fix each one of these bugs. It took someone a lot of work to change, the way the pottery thing works, and I think it's a big improvement as a result. Speaking of big improvements, now when you break them, you get yourself, if we use a shovel to break them, oh, okay, that's the thing there. So anyway, with that said, I hope you all enjoyed this part, but the overall key thing to mention here is that 1.20.1 will come out for Java and probably contain some of these features, but 1.20 is the big update. It's coming out real soon. Thank you very much for watching. I look forward to seeing you for tomorrow's big update questions. Your biggest questions about this update, cherry trees and sniffers and pots. I'm going to be answering all of those and more, and so I hope that I see you over there, because that's all. Hello, I'm IBX Toy Cat. I'm going to start the video again right now. You can't stop me. Wow, today I'm going to talk about the brand new things in this beta/preview. We got boats, we got barrels, they changed the recipes, and then they changed the recipe for string because getting cobwebs into string was too OP, and apparently that makes Minecraft more equal when you just remove a feature from Bedrock, which is really good. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this, because I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.